Hiya, what's the crack? It's Erin. If you already know me, then you know exactly where I'm at with my brain tumour diagnosis and the suspected blood clot in my lungs. If you don't know me, then you're going to want to go back and watch my previous videos so you know where I'm at before I dive into that today. So just starting off, I am definitely editing out my deep breaths, so I'm going to try to, but I am short of breath and I'm trying not to make that super distracting in this video. So just a wee update with my brain tumour diagnosis first. So it has been almost 2 weeks since I talked to my surgeon, and he had said that they'd sent it to a new hospital, which is a hospital in Toronto, and they said that they were going to have it for a week or two hopefully. So when a week had passed, I rang my surgeon's office and they said that there was no update, but they're hoping that there will be this week. So hopefully this is the last week of waiting and we'll finally have an answer. On that phone call, I told my neurosurgeon about my breathing problems, in which he said it's absolutely not normal, like it could be a potential blood clot in my lung from the anaesthetic from the surgery, and he was going to refer me on to someone to get that figured out. That was the Thursday. The Friday morning, my breathing wasn't great, and so I ended up going to a walk-in clinic, and I got talking to the doctor, and she took my oxygen levels, my blood pressure, like looked at my heart rate, and she said everything looks grand, but you need to go to the emergency room. And I was a wee bit confused, but she said, listen, if you have a blood clot in your lung, you're lucky that you've lasted 8 weeks after your brain surgery. Like, you need to go get that figured out right now. She was like, I'm gonna fax over to the emergency room to tell them that you need to be seen, you need to be rushed through. So me and Devin headed over to the hospital, and we were there in the emergency room that we had been in before to fight my brain tumour, so that was very weird. We weren't expecting to be back there so soon, and someone who shall not be named, we definitely went looking for her.
Honestly.
We were at this hospital for 8 hours, which is better than 21 the first time, and this time they did a CT on my lungs and they did the blood test to see if there was a blood clot in my lungs as well. So after the 8 hours they came in and they said, no, it looks grand, everything came back fine, and I was relieved obviously that it wasn't a blood clot. And I said to the doctor, so what do you think it is? It's putting all this pressure on my chest then. Like, is it an infection? Like, what are you thinking? And he just said, I don't know, you know, if it was an infection or anything else, you'd have other symptoms like a temperature or you'd have a cough or something. So we really don't know, but you should just kind of go home because we know it's not a blood clot. So that's exactly what we did. So that was the Friday, and on the Monday I made an appointment with the family doctor or the GP, and I went in, and obviously I was relieved that it wasn't a blood clot, but I just wanted to figure out what's making it so difficult for me to breathe. So I went in and he did all the same tests as everyone else, and at least this time I didn't have to give my blood, because that's happened like 100 times in the last few months. It's been way too many times. After he finished looking at me and listening to my breathing and all that, he was like, I'm pretty sure that you have a blood clot in your lungs, which wasn't great. And we were confused because we'd already had the CT and the blood test done. But this doctor explained that if you have an acute blood clot, then it will appear in your CT and in your blood test within the first few weeks of you having it. But if you have a chronic blood clot and you've had it for like 8 weeks, then it can easily be missed in the CT and in the blood test. So I needed to go for a VQ scan, which I had literally never heard of. If you don't know, a VQ scan is like a 2-part scan where you like inhale this radioactive stuff and then they inject you with the radioactive stuff, whatever it is, and they look at your air coming into your lungs and the blood kind of flowing around your lungs as well. And he said that is the test to identify a chronic blood clot in your lung. So that was Monday. I also got a call that day from the walk-in clinic to tell me that they had just gotten the rejection from the emergency room from Friday, to be like, we're not going to prioritize her when she comes over, but I'd already been there, so not a big deal. But that emergency room, we're done. That was the Monday, and then the Monday night I really struggled to breathe. It was the hardest that my breathing has been this whole time. I couldn't like passively breathe. I had to like intentionally take every single breath, and every single time like my chest was going up and down, and my dad and Devin were like freaking out, and they wanted me to go to the emergency room that night. But I really didn't want to go back because I know they're not going to help me, right? And I'd just taken my anti-seizures and I was really tired, so I was like, if I fall asleep, let me fall asleep and I'll go in the morning. So that's what happened, and me and my dad went to the emergency room in the morning. This is Tuesday. We go in and me and my dad were in there for like maybe an hour and a half or so, and by the time we got through to triage, they basically just said no. They were like, you know, your CT's grand, like your blood test's grand, like It's not our responsibility to find the root cause of the problem, it's your family doctor's. I told them what my family doctor had said about the VQ, and they were like, no, we're not giving you that. Keep in mind, I had called the doctor as well earlier to say that I was going to be in the emergency room, and they had said, yep, you're better staying there to get the VQ test done as soon as possible, like this is urgent. So after that, and the emergency room turned me away, I had to go home and make another doctor's appointment. So I have my second doctor's appointment with this GP or family doctor, and I go in and I tell them, you know, they disagree with what you said about the VQ. They're not going to take me as somebody coming through the emergency room. And my family doctor was like, no, they're completely wrong. Like, you need the VQ test. He had said he had requested my CT and my blood test from the hospital so that he can request the VQ, and they had rejected him because of the hacking that had happened. The last time I seen him, which was last week, he said that he was gonna continue to request it, and I believe it was Thursday, the last day I saw him, that he was going to continue to request it, and if he didn't get approved, he was going to try and convince a radiologist to just give me the VQ test anyway. So that is where I'm at, and keep in mind, it's almost been 2 weeks since I spoke to my neurosurgeon and I didn't hear anything from the referral. I called the surgeon's office and I asked, you know, are you gonna refer me? Like, what's crack? I can't breathe. And they said, yeah, we referred you. They acknowledged the referral, but they just haven't gotten around you yet, and they haven't given us a time frame. So it has almost been 10 weeks since my brain surgery. It will be the day after tomorrow. My breathing's been tough, but I really don't think it could be a blood clot. Like, I just don't think I would last 10 weeks. I really don't know, but I'm hoping it's not, because my doctor then said to me, if it is a blood clot in your lung, I'm going to have to run another test to make sure it hasn't damaged the right side of your heart, in which case it would be a really, really bad situation. My neighbour has a Ventolin inhaler, and so she gave that to me, and I've been taking it, and it hasn't helped at all. Really, it's just not helping. Nothing seems to be helping, and I just have like pressure there all the time. I don't think it's a blood clot, but I just really don't know what it is, and I just miss being able to breathe or feel normal. It's been so many months. So that's pretty much where I'm at. I'm hoping that this week we get my final answer in terms of my tumor diagnosis, and I hope that I can get a VQ scan to just get it out of the way. That's what my doctor said. He was like, listen, what's the chances of you becoming asthmatic or something like right after brain surgery? It's so slim. He was like, no matter what it is, we need to rule out a blood clot first. So I would like to get that ball rolling as soon as possible, and hopefully I'll have at least one of those answers soon. As always, thank you so much for all of the lovely comments on here. It means so much to me. I appreciate every single one, and I'm trying my best to respond to everyone. It's just a wee bit difficult, but it all means a lot to me, and it makes this time so much easier, and I appreciate all the prayers and the manifesting and everything. So thank you very much, and I'm going to try and keep you in the loop. So as soon as I get one of the answers, I'll come on here and I will let you know. So if you made it to the end of this video, thank you very much. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.